Good evening. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the platform where we come together to discuss Jamaican football. Hope everybody's doing well and that everybody's doing great. Great to see the comments as well. Drew Fortis, aka Drew Fortis, says up Simon. Chorus Cornelius says up. Ricardo Baggio says big up Simon. Baggio the Great, how are you doing, sir? Long time no see. Very, very long time no see. I hope you are doing well and that your family is doing good as well. It's been some time as well. So great to hear from you as well. So looking forward to things and the discussion that we have in this video. Okay, so firstly, I encourage everybody to hit the like button, and after doing so, to hit that subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary as well. Okay, and then we can go right to this video. Kamadon says up Simon. Okay, so let's talk firstly about something that you could say was unveiled prior to the weekend. This was Thursday or Friday. Okay, now I just want to read this, and this is what John Obi Mikel said in an interview. All right, and after doing that, I'm going to go right into the national team and what lies ahead. Okay, good. So first thing first, we're going to discuss what John Obi Mikel said, and then after that, we go straight into the national team discussions. Okay, good. Kamadon says, "What Simon the Smart saying today?" Hope you're doing well, man. Big up. Okay, good. So John Obi Mikel said this. They, and he's referring to players, they want to play for England, France, whatever it is, and then they wait. When they get to 25 or 26 and they don't get a call up from England, then they call Nigeria. We shouldn't be treated as second options. You should be proud of your African roots. You should be proud to represent your African country. If you decide you want to play for England, stick to it. Sit and wait, but don't wait till 29 and 30. You've passed your best. Then you're like, oh, Nigerian FA, I'm ready to play for you now. And then he said an expletive with some colorful language, which I'm not going to say. So that is what John Obi Mikel said. I'm going to react to this and then go into the national team stuff, okay? All right, first thing first. Many persons are trying to use this comparison with Jamaica. All right, first thing first, let's start here. International football is very special, very prestigious. Why? Because you are representing your country. So therefore, it should come from the heart. It should come from the heart. It should be something that you have a passion for. Just like any hobby that you have or the career path that you're in right now, it's something that you should have a burning desire and a passion for. So when it comes to represent Jamaica, the love is in your heart that you're ready to commit and sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears for your country. Because you know at the end of the day, those sacrifices that you made will lead to qualification for World Cups, picking up medals for Jamaica, and winning trophies as well. Good. So we'll have that clear. If you want to play for Jamaica, you need to be committed, right? It's not just, oh, I'll play one match and that's it. You have to be committed. So in relation to what John Obi Mikel said, right? He highlighted about the second options or something of that nature. One moment. So, is it fair what John Obi Mikel said and use it to compare for Jamaica? One size doesn't fit all, and every circumstance is different. Every player is different. We cannot have black and white thinking in relation specifically to if this is what is done in Nigeria, then this has to be done in Jamaica. Not hard and fast in that sense. Every player has different patterns. You have late bloomers. You have situations where at youth level, brilliant. And then they sort of plateau a bit, and then they pick up form again, and then an opportunity for Jamaica comes their way. So you have situations like that. Kamadon says that he agrees John Obi Mikel's words. There are aspects of this where you have to agree 100%. Sitting and waiting until 29-30, I agree. You want commitment much earlier because when you're starting a World Cup qualifying campaign, you want to be late teens, early 20s. You start a World Cup qualifying campaign when you're 29, 30. You'll be at the World Cup 32, 33, depending on which month you were born in. But here's the thing. Every player peaks at a different stage. 29, 30 for some players is not passing their best. So for some players, 29, 30, they're approaching their peak or they're at their peak. So that is what I'll say there. So is there aspects that I agree with John Obi Mikel? Absolutely. Absolutely. You need players that are proud of their heritage, proud of their Jamaican roots, that want to play for Jamaica. For me, whether you grew up with a Jamaican culture or not, it still is left that you have to have the passion for Jamaica. Of course, it helps if you grew up with the Jamaican culture, with the food, the music. Every Sunday, that you've been around 40, 50 cousins. That is absolutely fine. So that is the point that I want to make there, because certainly a lot of Jamaicans have given feedback to what John Obi Mikel said, and varying different words in relation to this. And I know that I see the comments that are coming in as well. So let me address some of those comments, and I'm going to go swiftly to the national team. All right. Murad Arawak said, respect, Simon. First time I actually catch the live in a while. Big up, man. Enough respect. In Tariq Amazon, I'm not sure. I'll have to find out that information for you. That's what I'll say. Ricardo Baggio. Yeah, of course. For a player that has done and represented this country almost 100 times and played at the highest level, absolutely. I have no problem with him having his opinion. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First of all, future investments. On Reggae Boys commentary, we don't discuss rumors. It's accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. Okay? Do you even know what the definition of the word rumor is? Rumor is a currently circulating story or report of uncertain or doubtful truth. No, we don't report doubtful truths on Reggae Boys commentary. We don't discuss rumors. When something is factual, that is what is discussed, not situations of the nature that you just highlighted. Okay? So that is what I want you to be aware of. So if you phrase the question, is it true that Steve Bruce was contacted? That is different from different from Bruce rumors true. Bruce rumors true. That is like oxymoronic, because rumor is the opposite of a truth, complete opposite. Yes, Rob Smith, I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing for Norman Campbell to be able to go to Scandinavia and Denmark. I think he's in a really good environment. And depending on the player as well, Eastern Europe versus Scandinavia, different players tend to thrive in different environments more than others. You know what I'm saying? So every player is different from that sort of standpoint. So I completely understand where we're coming from there. Okay. Kidder Stump says, I can start the World Cup at 42 like Roger Miller. So you're 40 now, so in 2 years' time you'll be 42. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I saw that too, Rob Smith. I saw that. Jason Guna says, bless up, Simon. Bless up. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Richard, did you watch the press conference this morning? I would encourage you to watch the press conference this morning. And that gets to the title of this video. Nothing happens before it's time, right? That's why it's very important for everybody watching this video right now, all viewers, all fans, all stakeholders, to pay attention to details. Pay attention to details. What is the fact? The fact was made mention by firstly, the chairman of the technical committee, Mr. Rudolph Speed, stating that late July, early August, the announcement would be made for the new head coach. This morning at the press conference, General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Mr. Dennis Chung, said it will be before August 11, and we hope to have an announcement in the first week of August. So again, guys, have an eye for detail. Have an eye for detail so that you are aware of things. Because once you have that eye for detail, you have the facts, you're speaking accuracy, and also you are contributing as well. So that is extremely important. And I've said even from the end of the Copa America, don't expect an announcement in July. It is as simple as that. Okay. So I've always been straightforward with that. I've told you when the squad for World Cup qualifiers was going to be announced, that was 1 week before, well, 6 days before. Copa America, 1 week before. The same as well for the Nations League campaign, which was 1 week before as well in March. You understand what I'm saying? So it has always been 5 to 7 days before the match. That has always been when the squad announcements have come. So please pay attention to detail so that you will be able to basically understand that rubric as well. So that helps you in the grand scheme of things. And also watch the press conference from earlier today as well, because that will be absolutely important as well. Keita Sample says, big up. Simon Mikel is pissed at Rwanda and Benin beat Nigeria. Well, Nigeria, Africa is getting competitive. Comoros, that were in the Africa Cup of Nations in 2021, they surprised many as well. You know what I'm saying? So every team across the planet is doing their due diligence, their research, their hard work. Chile has an Englishman playing for them. Comoros has a 100% squad that was born in France. You're talking about Greenland, Saint-Pierre et Miquelon, Saint Eustatius, Saba, that are all going to apply for CONCACAF membership. Football is continuing to be more and more and more and more and more global. So let us put that into play as well. All right? So let that sink in so that everybody is aware. Okay? So let that stand out for everybody. Tigat on the ball. Is that Tigat from Sports Down the Middle? Andy Bailey says, what happened to Tyrant McGee? Well, in relation to Tyrant McGee, remember that the 2024 season with Colorado Springs Switchbacks, he's played 3 matches. That's what has happened. Last year, he played 25 matches and he scored 3 goals in the process and had 2 goals. So that's basically the latest with Tyrant McGee right now. He is, at this point in time, he's 24. He's going to be 25 next month being August. So that's exactly what is happening with Tyrant McGee. He had signed it's a 1-year extension. So at the end of in December, his contract expires, so we'll see what happens from there and in. And then, of course, he can send another season or make the transition to another part of the globe. So we're just going to have to wait and see how everything transpires there. Richie Richard says, I did not watch the press conference. Yeah, man, watch it, man. It's uploaded right here in Reggae Boys commentary. I'll send JFF Live as well. Absolutely not, Nitro. That's what I'm saying. He made a mention about 29-30. Demarai Gray made his debut for Jamaica at 26. So that's why I've said you can't use a Nigerian example and say that that is for the Jamaican example as well. Because players peak at different times. That is one aspect of things. And if you have a player that is 30 years old and he's better than the 22-year-old, who is the better player? If the 30-year-old is better, then why not use the 30-year-old? You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether he is there. So that is the point that I'm making from this sort of standpoint, so everybody's aware. He says 29-30 when they've passed their best. To me, in the grand scheme of things, when you're a professional and you're 29-30, you're a goalkeeper, you're approaching your peak. When you're a centre half, you're in your prime. You're a central midfielder, you're still in your prime. You're a centre forward, you are, if not in your peak, you're just a shade off it. That's what I would say in terms of those individuals. And that of course, depends on the longevity of their career as well. Did they start when they were 16? Because, Wayne Rooney started when you're 16, he's now retired. But yet you still have players that are in their early 40s still playing football. You had even goalkeepers like Gigi Buffon in his mid-40s as well. So every player is different. So would be unfair to use one example and use that for all examples, because every player is different. Their trajectory, their story, their history, their journey is so different. You can't compare Marlon King, Jamie Vardy, Mikel Antonio to Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard. Three players, completely different trajectories. So, yeah. Rad Arawak, I'm actually proud of the diaspora that we have. It's absolute joy when you're in the diaspora, when you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in the UK, and you are surrounded by your fellow Jamaicans. It's one of the best feelings, actually, when you're around that. So that's what I'll say. Rob Smith, we'll see. Because, as you know, when Manchester United signed Henrik Mkhitaryan, Armenia was ranked somewhere in the 150s or 140s. But in order to get the work permit for him to play in England, I think they had to raise the transfer value. Manchester United had to pay Borussia Dortmund a certain number of money. So let's see. And again, that's why I say, Rob Smith, it's so important to pay attention to details. Because somebody's on the verge of signing, that doesn't mean that it is done. You can't assume things. You have situations where players fail a medical. You have situations where the club doesn't want a player anymore. You have situations where another club comes in the way. Marlon King was on the verge of signing for Coventry City. But guess what? The day he was supposed to sign for Coventry City, he got a call from Birmingham City. Birmingham City were getting ready to play in the Europa League. And guess what? He made a U-turn and signed for Birmingham City. So again, guys, I repeat, pay attention to details and also pay keen attention to the information that is there so that you are aware of things. Do not assume, so that you are fully aware of all of these aspects of things. So yeah. Well, Nitro, he has a Jamaican passport, and it doesn't hurt to have a Jamaican passport. So what I would say there is that you should never close the door on anybody. Never close the door on anybody in this world. This life is so unpredictable. Okay, so never, ever, ever say that or forget. Don't say that at all. Colleen Henry says, great. Yeah. Well, Tycoon, in terms of time, when you think about it, really, remember the English Premier League season, the Championship League One, that commences in the middle of August. The coach will be announced prior to that. So he wouldn't have a training session with the team until 3-4 days before the Cuba game. So even though he won't have the team until then, he'll at least be brought up to speed with the names, the players, and of course he would have familiarized himself as well with video clips of players as well and have the database. So at least he's aware. He'll have persons around him that will guide him so that he's aware of things, so that everybody is aware. You know, similar to Coach Halgrimson when he had the Argentina game as well. It's a similar sort of process because that was his first game in charge. But just like in any environment, when you're getting your foot wet, it comes over time when you get settled in and adjusted into your new environment. So that is what I say. Well, Shamar Gordon, in relation to the situation with Very United, I think it's a quite compelling move, and to see the caliber of players that will enter in Very United as well. I think the top six will be quite intriguing to see how that will pan out this season as well. So I'm very looking forward to that as well, to see how that top six will go. I heard in terms of the expectations of wanting to win the Premier League and win the CONCACAF Champions League. To achieve winning the CONCACAF Champions League, you deserve to get the title of national hero. I'm telling you right now, if Very United wins the CONCACAF Champions League, then Mr. Butler deserves to receive the title of national hero of Jamaica, because that accomplishment is a supremely amazing thing to achieve. When you look at a competition that has been dominated by Mexican clubs, by American clubs, and to go head to head and neck with such clubs that have even graced the FIFA Club World Cup, to accomplish that, he would deserve to get the National Hero Award of Jamaica because of that itself. I do hope that Mount Pleasant, Cavalier, Arnett Gardens, Fraser's Whip as Jamaican clubs, that they represent us well in these competitions. It's extremely important so that, you know, brand Jamaica grows, and of course our domestic-based players get the opportunity as well to play overseas as well. We saw what it did for Dunby Holden, and also what it did as well for other clubs as well, for example, such as Cavalier and also Harbourview as well. It brought exposure. And in addition to that as well, we saw 14 JPL players make their debut for Jamaica in March. You know what I'm saying? So that is how things transpired. Some goalkeepers flew up to 40. Yes, you're right. That is right, 100%. Well, one-stop Caribbean cuisine, as made mention before, it's very important that we pay attention to details, and that is why the chairman of the technical committee said at the end of July, and if you watched the press conference this morning, you've heard the General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation said an announcement would come before August 11 and hopefully August 4 or 5, because this is the week where things are finalized in that sense. So as the title says, nothing happens before it's time, so it will come. It's not a matter of if or maybe, it's only when, so that you are aware. Okay? Me and Marlon used to go to Sunday school together. Which Marlon? Marlon King. Really? Huh. That's interesting. Huh. Well, Jason Guna, in relation to the invitation that clubs would get, it comes from management, and in terms of the time frame that it would come, it could be a month before, it could be 3 weeks before. because I'm sure you would have seen on many different clubs' websites, they sometimes preempt an announcement and say, "Oh, this player has been called up," and this is 4 weeks prior to an international call up. You know what I'm saying? So you do find those situations that do happen. Conrad Smith, I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Well, Kamadan, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I'm not going to close the door on any player because they didn't. I'm not going to close the door on any player. So even Gold Cup next year, I would gladly take him. World Cup qualifiers, gladly take him. The World Cup, because at the end of the day, you want the best 23, or if FIFA decides 26 at the World Cup, and if he is one of the best 23 or 26 Reggae Boys players, cool. So that is how I feel. Yeah, well, I disagree with that, Max Defender. I really disagree with that. I genuinely feel that we will be at the World Cup. I genuinely do feel that way. So I'm not sure, what you mean by your statement at all, because it clearly shows naivety and a lack of information. So that is why it's so important, again, to pay attention to details, know different roles, specific dates, so that you're extremely aware about everything, so that you are aware of everything. Well, Colin, I'd encourage you as well to watch the press conference as well. Watch the press conference that took place earlier today so that you have the full gist of things as well. The General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation announced earlier today that this is a week where you finalize things, and hopefully in the first week of August, all will be good to go. And as you know, there was the chairman of the technical committee, Mr. Rudolph Speed, announced end of July, first week of August. So we're still on course with that. Nothing has changed. And so it is just about time. So that you're aware. Marlon's grandma. Okay. Yeah, Satchwell is overseas, Andy Bailey. Yeah. Tycoon, for me, it's not about the style, it's about winning. I think many people are, especially who started watching football in the 2007s and 2008s, 2009s, have an expectation that Jamaica is going to play champagne Barcelona football. Is that Jamaica? In terms of that Barcelona style? No, that is not our style. For me, it's all about winning. It doesn't matter if it is 5 at the back. It doesn't matter if it is 4 at the back. It doesn't matter if we're defensively solid and we're amazing on the counter attack. For me, it's about winning. The style is not the most important aspect for me. The important thing is winning, because when you qualify for the World Cup, how do you qualify in CONCACAF? You qualify by, guess what? You qualify by finishing in the top of your group. That's how you qualify. At the end of the day, FIFA is not going to say, well, but Jamaica had 79% possession. Well, Jamaica had 76 shot on target. Well, Jamaica had this period in a game where they had 35 passes together. No, they're not going to analyze that. And you can even say some of the teams that play nice football in the league. Okay, Arsenal, they play champagne football, as some people might say. 20 years without a league title. When Eddie Howe was at Bournemouth, you could say Brighton is playing good football right now. So it's different. Would you say Man City and Arsenal have the same style? What are you talking about, Max Defender? I'm sure if you look at the Copa America squad, that it was a strong squad. So I'm not sure what you're referring to about. We're talking about the senior men's national team. So that is why it's extremely important that you are up to speed with the discussion that we're having right now. That's very important. We'll start working harder, which will make the league more competitive. Yeah, Shamar Gordon, because if you see somebody doing something that is great, certainly persons will either want to copy, imitate, or try to improve their product. So as I said, when he said in the interview that he wants to win the JPL and win the CONCACAF Champions League, I love ambition. I absolutely love ambition. And I'm telling you, any coach that takes a Jamaican club to win the CONCACAF Champions League, you deserve to be a national hero. Not Order of Distinction, not Order of Nation, not Order of Jamaica, but Order of National Hero. Because that is an outstanding accomplishment. Outstanding. And what a day it would be to see a Jamaican club win what is now called the CONCACAF Champions Cup. That would be fantastic. It's all about winning. Yeah. It's all about winning. What is Jamaica's style of play? Jamaica's style of play is winning, creating history. That is what is the style of play of Jamaica. Yeah. Just winner. Well, Camadon, you can disagree, but guess what? At the end of the day, how do you get to the World Cup? You get to the World Cup by winning the next 8 matches, right? We're 2 down, we're 8 to go. Okay? We have 2 more matches left in this round and 6 matches left in the third and final round. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 matches. 8 matches. 8 matches to qualify for a World Cup. Okay? Manchester United have won 13 league titles under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Were Manchester United the most aesthetically pleasing team? No. No, Manchester United were not the most aesthetically pleasing team during the Sir Alex Ferguson era. No, not at all. They won, right? They won league titles. They won Champions League. They won League Cups. They won the FIFA Club World Cup. They won FA Cups, right? Yeah. Andy Bailey says he's going to be the coach. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Tycoon, think about it for a moment. Think about it. Think about 2024. The first time that we've won a medal in 7 years came this year. Defeating Panama for the first time since 2019, giving 14 debuts to Jamaica Premier League players. For the first time since 2008, winning back-to-back games in World Cup qualifying. Winning. That's Jamaica's style. Winning. Well, Tycoon, that's why it's so important as well that, again, we should not be naive. We should be always get information, because it is important to be professional at all times. So I'm not sure what your expectation was, but I'm always professional at all times. So you should know that there are certain things that you can and certain things that you cannot ask. And it is as simple as that. All right. So that is why it is important for you to know roles, responsibilities, duties, so that you are aware of everything in the grand scheme of things, so that you can come to a better analysis, better conclusion, and have more insightful things to share as well. That's why it's so important. 8 with our best players passing their best. Which players have passed their best? Bobby Reid has not passed his best. Ethan Pinnock has not passed his best. Andre Blake has not passed his best. Joel Latibaudiere has not passed his best. So who are you talking about that has passed their best? I don't understand that, to be quite frank with you. Dwight Green, don't give up. Don't give up. I don't know why you would want to give up. You're a Jamaican. You're young. You love football. You love your country, right? So why are you going to give up? If Shelley Fraser doesn't get gold, you're going to stop watching track and field? No, but you continue watching because Jamaica is in the Olympics, right? Just let it sink in. Jamaica has won 5 medals in the last 10 years. 5 medals in the last 10 years. That's second only to Mexico in CONCACAF in terms of medals. Think about it. 2 Gold Cup silver medals. Yeah? A Caribbean Cup silver medal, a Caribbean Cup gold medal, a Nations League bronze medal. So in the last decade, Jamaica has taken home 5 medals. Answer the question. Do trophies and medals define success? And if trophies and medals to you do not define success, then what is success? Keeping possession for 90%? Having 90% possession? No. For me, that is not success. Success is not having possession for 90%. Success is not having 50 passes before you score a goal. Success is not playing Barcelona football. Success is us going to that 2026 World Cup and lifting that trophy. You saw what Morocco did, right? Why can't we do what Morocco did? Why not? Why not? Especially in our own backyard? Yeah. Absolutely not, Mask Defender. Absolutely not. And again, you need to think before you speak as well. So That's what you have to say. I asked you a question. You said we have seen the national players pass their best when all our players are in their prime, in their mid-20s, early 20s, teenage years, or late 20s. Bar Andre Blake, bar Damian Lowe, bar Bobby Reed, bar Ethan Pinnock, bar Mikel Antonio. Look at the rest of the squad. So there you go. So there you go. Richie, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and be right back in 1 second, okay? We'll be right back 1 second, and I'm coming back to Richie Richard. Give me 1 second, guys. Right. Thank you for your patience, guys. So I see the comments, and I'm going to get to that right now. So you have Tycoon and also Max Defender, right? They want to know new players, new players, new players. When the new coach hasn't even come in yet, you don't even know what he wants, what his desires are. So you can't have that conversation at this point in time. You can't. And that's why I always say on this platform as well, what are you doing to help? What are you doing to help Jamaican football? Many of you work in corporate Jamaica at established companies that have been around for decades and decades and decades. And some of you as well are taking home 7 figures in Jamaican currency as well and have the ability to assist as well. Many of you do. I love my country. And I don't think anybody can disagree with that. From the moment that I've stepped foot on this planet and I've breathed air in this country, I think you all have been evidence of that. Winning the set play competition, being the youngest analyst ever on television at 12 years old and 16 years old, being the youngest person to win the Prime Minister's Youth Award in sports. I think I've done enough to show you that I have the ability to help and to help grow. So again, I do believe that patience is a hard quality to develop, an extremely hard quality to develop. Trust me, as a Jamaican, I get frustrated when I'm in line at a restaurant or in line at a fast food place and you have to wait 20 minutes for your food. Trust me, I get frustrated. But I can't just go and hiss my teeth and say, yo, where my food there? Give me my food and them Sunday. No, you have to act with decorum. Decorum. So, again, I said that I'm going to do my best for as long as I'm breathing on this earth. And that is a fact. And that is a fact. Tycoon and Mask Defender wants to speak about new faces, new players, etc., when the new coach hasn't even come in yet. That's a conversation, and that is a question for the press conference when the coach is in Jamaica. That is the appropriate time for that question to the head coach. Well, chap, we don't know. We don't know. As you would have seen in that press release during the Copa America, the It now is with the ethics committee. That's where it is. So at the end of the day, the ethics committee, along with the administration, makes those decisions. I don't understand what you're saying, Tycho, playing the media. I don't understand what that means. Honestly, I don't. By providing factual information, by providing accuracy, for being credible, for sharing statistical information, for showing you that I know about Jamaican football, for naming out results in my history, I think I've done enough. I asked Mark's defender about which players passed their best, and he can't tell me any. So I'm not sure where his brain went there, to be quite frank with you. Honestly. With our best player passing their best. Again, Master, so I don't know who you're referring to. Come on, done. Ramadan March was just a few months ago. What are you talking about past? And you cannot dismiss the past, because what you do in the past affects the present, and the present affects the future. Do you know why we played preliminaries in the under-20 qualifiers? Because we are ranked outside of the top 6 in CONCACAF in the under-20 level. The past always affects the future. So don't you ever dismiss the past, because what you do in the past affects the present, and what you do in the present affects the future. So what we do now affects what our seedings are like, what our rankings are like, and whatever group we'll have in the future. Okay? Good. So as a result of the under-20 performance, likely it'll mean again that we'll have to go through preliminaries first before our CONCACAF final round. Again. So again, that is why you can never dismiss the past. And guess what? You can never brush aside what Jamaica has done. These are things you should be proud about. Manchester United has not won the league title in 11 years, but guess what? The fans, the supporters, the staff, the administration, the coaching staff, the support staff, all sing praises. 20 titles, countless FA Cups, 3 Champions League. You cannot brush aside what we have achieved. You can never brush that aside. That is always going to be ingrained into us. So you cannot brush that aside. Ever. Ever. Absolutely not, Master Defender. Absolutely not. Again, Richard, coaching staff. The head coach is the one that handles situations with players. Administration does not handle that matter. Jimbo, in relation to JPL, I believe it's September, but in relation to the exact start date, not sure at this point in time, but I'll find out. Okay. Golden generation? Really? Well, Mark's defender, think about this for a moment. Koroy Anderson is 19. All right. Dexter Lembikisa is 20. All right. Kanaya Boris Clark, 2021, right? Joel Latibodir is 24. Dishon Bernard is 23, right? Let's continue further on. So Demarai Gray is 27. 28, right? Cephas, 24. And there's still a number of faces to come in behind as well. So low 30, Bobby Reed 30, 31 now when you look at things. Ethan Pinnock 31, Andre Blake 34 in November. Again, you can't say they're into retirement because every player is different. Every player is different in terms of what their body can manage. So you can't just assume and say, oh, he's 30, that's it. Well, again, DeAndre Williams, I would encourage you as well to watch the press conference. It's very important to watch a press conference. Go on JFF Live or right here, Reggae Boys Commentary, watch a press conference as the General Secretary provided updates. And that's why it's so important as well to be able to follow details and keep a close eye on details, because the details are so important to the General Secretary. And also the Chairman of the Technical Committee said end of July or first week of to the first week of August, and we get the announcement. We're not there yet. Today is the 29th of July. So that's why it's so important to get the facts, get the truth, get the the information, not passa passa, not cas. Float Management says, bless up, Simon. Bless up. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. And Andrew Bailey says, we are going to the World Cup no matter who is coach. That's right. Omza says, man, a lot of comments coming in. And the comments are just moving so fast. So thank you for your patience. That is greatly appreciated, honestly. Yeah, the comments are just moving so fast. Wow, a lot of comments. Mr. Positive, I respect it. Okay. Officer? What officer are you referring to? Hamza, what are you referring to about, man? If Morocco can finish fourth at the World Cup, why can't we achieve higher? Why can't we dream higher? Why can't we achieve higher? Why not? Reach for the stars. Do your best. Harry? Which Harry plays for Jamaica? Again, Wayne Beckford, I think it's so important to have proper information, before we speak. I think it's really important to do that. I believe that I am doing my utmost best. And I think it's very important that everybody is aware of roles, responsibilities, duties, functions, so that everybody understands clearly. So that is why it's so important, Mr. Beckford, so that you're speaking accuracy and not speaking false. Joe Biden. Katie Walker. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Oh, man. There we go. Well, Camadon, that is true. Do you need a style of play to win a World Cup? It's 7 matches. Well, for this World Cup, it's going to be 8 matches. I believe that we do, DeAndre Williams. I believe that we do. So give it time, as the title says, and it will come. When a new coach comes, he'll make the adjustments in terms of what pieces he wants to add to the puzzle. He will do that. All right, Tycoon, duly noted. Well, Umzo, that's why I made the point that it's very important that everybody has a role to play in the process. I did a part 1 and a part 2 about all hands on deck. And it is my responsibility to encourage. It is my responsibility. It is my job to encourage you as well. That September 6th, you're at the National Stadium. That September 10, you are in Honduras. That October 10, you are in Nicaragua. That October 14, you're at the National Stadium against Honduras. It is my responsibility to do that because it is important that all Jamaicans come out, all 35,000, and come and see Jamaica. It's very, very important to do so. Very, very important. Tickets, jerseys is one, and in another point, know yourself, it's very important as well for persons that are in the diaspora as well, and they know, man, I can't make it to Kingston, but guess what? I have my brother and I have my 2 cousins in Jamaica, so I can at least help them to get to the game. That's also a process as well. Absolutely know yourself. Absolutely know yourself. I am in agreement with this comment, 100%. Absolutely. I have to applaud your comment. 100% with every word in this statement. Teach Dwight Green. I believe that he has a role to play in terms of the exposure of Jamaican-born players overseas. I do think that is important, especially the European market. Europe is where you want to be. So I do think he has a role to play there. But as I said, you would have seen the interview that he gave and spoke about winning the JPL and winning the CONCACAF Champions League. And I said, winning the CONCACAF Champions League, I would say, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, give this man the title of national hero because he's done something that many people laughed at, but he achieved it. And I would love to see a day where a Jamaican club wins the CONCACAF Champions League. That would be a significant day in Jamaican football. Think about the money that comes into Jamaica as well for winning the CONCACAF Champions League, qualifying for the FIFA Club World Cup, seeing a Jamaican club in a FIFA tournament. Man, that would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Love to see that. Man, the comments are just so crazy, man. All right. Well, Nitro, again, that's why it's so important that we get all the information as well. Did you watch the press conference? If you watched the press conference, then the question that you asked me will basically answer your question if you watch the press conference. That's why it's so important that you stay up to date with everything that is happening, so that when you ask a question, you're not like, oh, that was asked already, or a situation of, oh, well, the answer to that question is already public, so why am I asking that question? You know what I'm saying? So basically, that is what I would say. No, not in delusion at all. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think my accolades are totally speak for itself as well. And seeing Jamaica have deep run in a World Cup is not something that is out of the realms of possibility. Look at the players that are available to play for Jamaica, especially within the Premier League. And you put that together, Nations League, World Cup qualifying, Gold Cup, World Cup qualifying, you put those pieces together, they make 10 appearances, 15 appearances for Jamaica. When you combine all those competitions together, they get settled in, and you're looking at a Jamaica team that is ready to take on the world. Why not? We're not going to the World Cup just to be in the first round. Shamar Nicholson is 27. I wouldn't say that he's past his best. Bobby Reid is 31. I still think that he can give solid contribution to Jamaica up to the 2026 World Cup. Damian Lowe is 31. He's born in 1993. By the World Cup, he'll be 33 by the time of the World Cup. Do you know how old was Robbie Earle when he scored for Jamaica? At the World Cup in 98, he was 33 years old. So again, age does not define your ability. It does not pass your ability. It does not define your ability. So that's what I'll say there. Age does not define your ability. Yeah, true. Yeah, Mark's defender Michael Hector will be at a club soon. He's currently training right now in terms of an academy setting where they have unattached players come together. But it will come. A club will come. It's only a matter of time. You know, remember there was a situation where he was without a club for 6 months, and he said that was so important for him to heal his knee injuries. So I'm confident that he'll get an opportunity in League One or League Two. No, Mikel Antonio is not going to retire. He has one more season at West Ham, and then after that one more season at West Ham, I'm sure he'll explore opportunities in the Middle East. That much I'm confident about. Yeah. Well, Tycoon, I disagree with the statement you've made. As I've said, I've always been professional, and I think it's absolutely clear in terms of responses. You want information in relation to who the coach is going to pick when we don't have the head coach announced just yet. That will come in time. It is as simple as that. So that is why it's very important to think about the questions that you're asking and also who you're asking as well. Because once you do that, then you're able to solidly answer that in particular. Oh yeah, Blake Ingram. Well, he's back now. He's 33, and for me, he's still our number one. Damari Gray career over? No, I disagree. Damari Gray's career is over. 14 games for Jamaica. He has 5 goals, 4 assists. Solid numbers, I would say. So no, I wouldn't say Damari Gray's career is over at all. I wouldn't say that his career is over. Not at all. Ethan Pinnock is an old man. 31 is not old. Karoy Anderson is 19 and Lembikisa is 20. Wow, Mark's defender. You say we only have Lati and Lembikisa. What about Deshaun Bernard? What about... Wow. Wow. And you call Leon Bailey, who's the same age as Shamar Nicholson, the same birth year as Shamar Nicholson. So you have to make your mind up there. That's why it's very important to do your research, because Leon Bailey is not old and Shamar Nicholson is not old. Okay? You say Shamar Nicholson is old, and then you come a minute later and say, well, we only have Bailey, Latti, and Lembekiso. And Leon Bailey was born in the same year as Shamar Nicholson. That's why Marks Defender, it's so important to do your research. Study football, all right? It'll get you places in this life. Good. Very, very important for you to do that. Absolutely improvement, Nitro. Absolutely. Well, Tycoon, I appreciate that kind comment. Very much so. Well, Marks Defender, that's okay. Mr. Speed might not be in Morocco, but that does not mean that Jamaica will not be going to the World Cup or qualifying to the latter stages of the tournament. Bailey said, win we want. OG Kush says, Wasteman Simon, lock off this. Well, I'm certainly not a waste man. I have 2 degrees and I'm 6'5", and I am a reputable person in Jamaica and the sporting world. So I wouldn't consider myself a waste man at all. Not at all. I wouldn't say so. Of course, you have to put in the work, Mass Defender, of course. Morocco certainly did their due diligence, scouted in Spain, scouted in Portugal, scouted in France, and even Canada as well. Morocco did that. So absolutely extensive scouting work. Exclusive scouting work. Exclusive. Well, OG Kush, you will see. We'll be at the World Cup. And again, you can't even spell my name right. My name is Simon, and you type Simone. That is Simone. So I want you again to be able to have a conversation with your grade 2 English teacher so that you could learn to spell persons' names correctly, because I think it's very important when we're communicating with people that we show respect to whoever we're speaking to. That is extremely important. So that is why I'd encourage you to have a conversation with your teacher so that you can be able to spell persons' names correctly. That is very, very important. All right. Yeah, that is what I would say. 100%. Again, OG Kush, whatever salary I get or whatever compensation I get, I don't see what that has to do with anything. I'm doing the same thing that I did in 2016. The same thing. Well, you weren't here in 2016, so you wouldn't know. So what you do, you go to Reggae Boys commentary, you go to videos, you go to oldest, and you see videos from 2016 to present, and nothing has changed. Information about players, not has changed. Competition, not has changed. Information about Jamaican heritage players, that has never changed. If you go to shorts, you see the same thing as well. So absolutely nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. So I don't know where you are getting your information from, because 1, it's not factual, 2, you're not spelling correctly, and 3, you need to get behind your country. That's why it's so important. 100%. Who is the recruitment officer? There's no title called a recruitment officer. There's no title called a recruitment officer. Well, it's not true, Max Defender. If you look at the information that has been provided, and if you look on this platform as well, players that have been discussed from a year ago, 2 years ago, have eventually made their debut for Jamaica last year, and also this calendar year as well. So I disagree in that aspect of things. I certainly do see great things for Jamaica, and it will come. It will come, that is for sure. Hey, Donald, yeah, how are you doing? What do you mean back in this role? I don't understand what you mean. Yeah, I like that to Tycoon. Have seen younger players in the JPL. It's a good idea. Absolutely. It's quite a change compared to previous years. I can remember even when Elvis Paul was at Portmore United, very few teenagers even got an opportunity to take the field. Very, very few. Well, Master Defender, did you watch it this morning? Did you watch it or listen to the information? Because in the Q&A section, the question and answer section, information was discussed in relation to the next head coach and dates and timelines and stuff like that. And the Bayless' second round. Okay, cool. I don't understand Dwight Green. Is he playing the lotto? I don't know. Again, OG Kush, you give you power to chat. I don't understand that at all. So again, that's why it's really important that we check whatever we type. That is extremely important, and that we do our own research as well, so that you learn to spell and speak properly. That is very important. What do you mean 9-0? Let me just pick up. I don't understand what you're talking. We're having a conversation about the senior men's national team. That is what we're speaking about right now. Nope. Again, that's a hat trick, OG Kush. I have hair right here. So it's not gone at all. And I don't see how name calling or anything like that has anything to do with football. It doesn't at all. Has nothing to do at all. And that's why, again, I'm going to encourage you as well to go to school. Make sure you go to university as well, so that you can be able to get the credentials that you need to be able to have an effective conversation. That's why I think it's very important. Nitro, it was the question that Siobhan Peart asked. Okay, it's a question that Siobhan Peart asked, so you can be able to do that. Okay. Yes, Nitro, but in that situation, Roy Keane was talking about the facility in South Korea, so that was not in Ireland, it was in South Korea. So you can't use that example and say that is equivalent, because what Roy Keane was referring to was the quality of the training facility in South Korea. How you know Jamaica going to the World Cup? Because I have confidence, because I love my country. Do you love your country? I certainly do. So that is what I'd say. What are you talking about, Master Defender? I don't see what me searching for a woman has anything to do with this. Again, my name is Simon, not Simone. Do you have age to play in a World Cup? No, I don't have a child, OG Kush, because I believe in planning correctly. Duly noted, Nitro. Commodon says, Simon, stop read the comments, football we are talk. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Football. Again, Master Defender, that is also incorrect as well. I'm not incompetent. I'm very good at what I do, and I'll continue to do my best. Again, you're saying things that are absolutely not true. You've seen tremendous strides in relation to audio quality, video quality, and you could see it on the JFF's YouTube channel for evidence of that. What do I think of the men's stats in the last 5 years? What do you mean, the men's stats? You're talking about the senior men's national team over the last 5 years? Is that what you're asking me? How Jamaica has done over the last 5 years from 2019 to present? Is that what you're asking me? All right, Tycoon. So let me read what's the situation with the lights for the Nations League, okay? Let me do that for you presently, okay? All right, so this is a statement from our sports minister, Olivia Grange. The Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, the Honourable Olivia Grange, has announced the lighting is significantly improved at the National Stadium. The government spent 19.63 million to install the lights to ensure that the facility meets the FIFA standard for broadcast. Speaking after light testing conducted at the National Stadium recently, Minister Green said the light level has met the international standard. The result of the lighting test conducted by the television production firm Phase 3 has been transmitted to CONCACAF through the Jamaica Football Federation. The JFF General Secretary, Mr. Dennis Chung, told me, that's Minister Grange, that the initial feedback from CONCACAF is that Jamaica is to be commended for the significant improvement in the lighting level since the last test. As a result of the improvement in the lighting, Jamaica is now in line to host CONCACAF matches, including cup matches to be followed by the Reggae Boys versus Cuba on September 6th. So, to answer your question, CONCACAF is going to have a dialogue with the General Secretary to go through the lumens part, to look at each tower and see if it meets the minimum basic requirement. If CONCACAF say that one tower or two tower does not meet the requirement, then additional lights or some more tweak needs to take place. The initial feedback that was given is that CONCACAF has praised the improvement that has taken place in terms of the lighting. Again, Marks Defender, I don't know what you're talking about. Pre-corruption, I have no idea what you're talking about, and I dislike the false information that you're sharing because that is absolutely incorrect. Again, Nitro, you're using an incorrect word. Rumors are not discussed on Reggae Boys commentary. Accuracy, reliability, credibility, and positivity. On this platform, that is what it is. You know what a rumor is, Nitro? You need to choose your words carefully. A rumor is a currently circulating story or report of uncertain or doubtful truth. That is not reported on Reggae Boys commentary. Not. No rumors. And if somebody has Jamaican heritage, then they're highlighted right here on this platform. And it is as simple as that. They're highlighted. Okay? And guess what? There's over 997 players of Jamaican heritage in Europe alone. Do you expect all 997 to get a Jamaican passport? Maybe. Maybe not 100% of them. Maybe 90%, maybe less. But it's good to have when somebody has a blue book, right? Because it means that they're eligible for selection, right? Well, Dama Legend, we'll find out in the first week of August, okay? We'll find out. Again, Mass Defender, that is not true. That is absolutely not true. And if you even scroll down to June, you'll see Khadija Bunishaw being posted. Where's Frank Rijkaard coaching these days? Frank Rijkaard hasn't coached since 2008. No, the Saudi Arabia gig. So that's 2013. Honestly, Darkling, the honest answer to that question is serving my country. Serving my country, providing information. I have a passion for sharing information that people don't know. Information on opponents, information on coaching of the opposition. That is what I love the most. It's a passion that I love, honestly. Again, Mass Defender, you're stating a lot of allegations that are not true. Donald Leo says, Simon. Nitro says, did you watch the Dom Rep versus Spain match in the Olympics? No, I didn't watch the game, but I think it's such a great platform for Dom Rep because they're going to use this as their platform for Nations League and World Cup qualifiers. And I think that Guatemala versus Dom Rep game, I think it actually could end up in a draw, you know. So if Jamaica beats BVI, Jamaica goes to 9, Guatemala goes to 7, and DR goes to 4 points. That means that DR cannot catch up Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Which would guarantee us a spot in the third round. So, yeah. A stadium for itself, Dama Legend. All right, so when the National Stadium was built when Jamaica was a British colony, remember, you know, it was built as a multi-purpose facility. Cycling, football, track and field, etc. A stadium for our own, first you have to think about land. After land, then you think about capital. So those are the aspects that you have to think about. Well, Mills, we'll get there in 2026. You'll see. Not that I'm aware of Shas Entertainment. Not that I'm aware of it. Max Defender, again, you're stating things that are inaccurate. And that's why it's important to get the facts. Well, Tycoon actually did a video on this channel about when the work will start, so that is why you need to hit the subscribe button, because when you hit the subscribe button, you are informed about everything. And the minister has confirmed that in the first quarter of 2025, redevelopment work will take place at the National Stadium. Okay? So that you are aware. Absolutely not, Dama Legend. Absolutely not. As you know, he spent some time in Dubai. We'll see if he returns to professional football. We'll see. Murad Arawak, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Paul Ince is a Bajan. He was born in England, but his parents are from Barbados. I spoke to him when he was the Reading boss in 2022. We had a chat when Reading was playing Burnley. I had a conversation with him, and for him, his vision was to help out the land of his heritage. So Paul Ince has an ambition to be the head coach of Barbados. Whether that is 2030 or beyond, he has an ambition to help out Barbados because that is his land of his heritage. Okay? So I want everybody to be aware about that. So yeah. Well, Energy 876, a number of things that were discussed. One, in relation to the head coach. The press conference this morning, the General Secretary, the JFF General Secretary, Mr. Dennis Chung, outlined that in relation to the new head coach, announcement will come first week of August. All right? Good. But yeah, that's the thing, Murad Arawak. I think you need to have your heart in the role as well, as I was saying earlier as well. So Sol Campbell was the assistant coach of Trinidad and Tobago. Sol Campbell's parents are Jamaican. Was his heart into the Trinidad job? I'm not sure. He did not last a long time in the job at. He did not last long in the job at Trinidad and Tobago. Your heart has to be in it. There has to be love in that role capacity. That is incredibly needed for the success. As a coach, overall, Tycoon, he's a good coach. I believe that he's going to be the manager of a championship or a Premier League coach one day. I put him up there with Darren Moore as well. I think Darren Moore is one of the best former national players who are managers today. Darren Moore represented Jamaica twice or three times in 1999. Darren Moore just signed a 5-year contract at Port Vale, so that's a project that he's working on, and I know that his goal is to get Port Vale to be a championship team. League 2 right now, and the goal is to get them to a championship team. I think they can do that. No Dharma Legend, nothing on that for. As you know, great things take time. There's a lot of things that have to come into play. You have a negotiation process, you have a medical, you have pen to paper. So there's so much things that has to come into play. So no, things don't just happen overnight. Things take time. Well, Nitro, I think personally that Brandon Kova needs to go out on loan. I think that it's great that he was able to make his senior debut for Leicester. Brilliant. Happy for him. But I do think he needs to go out on loan. Even if it means League One, I think Brandon Kova needs to go out on loan. He needs first-team football now. 20, 30 games, something like what Dexter Lembekisa did at Rotherham and Hearts. I think that would be important for him as well. Dante Casanova and Delano Splat. I think Dante Casanova can be in the under 21s and Delano Splat can go out on loan. That's what I'd say. Chris Houghton as well, Arawak. Again, I want to make the point about this, right? Chris Houghton, he's half Irish and half Sierra Leonean, right? Most recently, he was the head coach of Ghana, right? So that you are aware. Well, energy, the important thing is positivity. That's what needs to take place. Positivity. Focus on what lies ahead. We're 6 points out of 6 in World Cup qualifying. We picked up our first ever medal in a CONCACAF Nations League. We commence a new Nations League cycle in September. Outstanding opportunities that lies ahead. I do think when it comes to price of tickets, that could also influence people as well. Persons might say, 5 grand for bleachers. That's what some people might say. So that can affect support at the stadium. I think that can have an impact, 100%. Yeah, Andy Bailey. That's why it's so important again that we do our research, because what is the requirement or minimum in CONCACAF is different for FIFA tournaments such as FIFA World Cups, under 20, under 17. So again, that is why it's so important to do the research or ask the question. Ask the question to me. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important. Shamar Gordon, which Richards? Which Richards are you talking about? Well, Pristine, I don't know who that individual is yet, but whoever that coach is, we welcome him with open arms and let him guide us towards the promised land. Well, Tycoon, I'm not sure if you're aware, but and again, you need to hit the subscribe button. I'm a third generation Jamaican. I'm a third generation Jamaican, which means that my parents and grandparents were also born in Jamaica. My dad's side is from England and my mom's side is from India. My dad's side came from a place called Salford in Greater Manchester. So my entire father's side of the family has been Mad United fans, Mad United fans, even from the days of the Air Munich disaster. My great grandfather, before great grandfather rather, you know, reading the newspaper and hearing about the stories and so on and so forth. So it's a Man United family. But again, I would say that sometimes I do have apathy for Manchester United in terms of the results. Sometimes I do have apathy. I'm like, okay. But my real heart and soul is in Jamaica. Sometimes if a result doesn't go my way, I might be silent for days. But for Man United, if Man United loses 12 games in a season, I'm like, okay. So yeah. No, Shamar Gordon is not taken off of the first team. You have preseason training and you have a squad that is selected for preseason training. In preseason training, you have the first team and you have selected academy players, right? Right now, he is injured. I saw you at the Mexico game in Houston. I showed to you and you waved. I did. Big up, man. Respect. Respect. Enough appreciated. And that as well in relation to a family, congratulations on being a dad. Quite a privilege and honor and a new chapter in his life. All right. The ones in the US Nitro, they are massive because a lot of the American football stadiums, you're walking 3 minutes from the locker room to the pitch. The stadiums are massive. They're great because you can have economies of scale where you can play American football, you can play football, which what the Americans call soccer. They can have concerts. So it's great in that sense where football stadiums in America are concerned. But in Europe, of course, there are football specific stadiums compared to the Old Traffords of this world and St. James's Park. To me, the stadium that was the most awe-inspiring for me in the US, I would have to say Dallas, AT&T Stadium. The one in England, there's two actually. St. James's Park in Newcastle and Old Trafford. King J says, bless up. Bless up. How you doing, man? All is well? Big up, man. Big up, man. Big up, big up, big up. Yeah. Man, time flies, Honestly, uh, it's not true that most persons are United fans. To be honest with you, it's not true. You know, Manningsman is an Arsenal fan. Uh, as persons would know, Mr. Simpson, the general manager, he's been analyst on different World Cup panels and so on, and he said that Liverpool was a team that he grew up supporting. Coach Helgrimson was Liverpool. John Wall was Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of persons are Manchester United fans, to be quite frank with you. Uh, Not a lot, honestly. Mr. Ricketts is a Liverpool fan. He said that on the radio. Well, he said he grew up supporting Liverpool, I should say. Uh, Manchester United fans. Not a lot. But again, you know, I support the team out of my heritage. Out of my heritage. That's how I support my teams, out of my heritage. So my local team is the team of the area or community where I grew up or was born. So yeah. Energy says I like Mercedes Benz more than Dallas. Okay, cool, cool. When I go to Mercedes Benz, I'll give you my thoughts about it. Yeah. Do you think the players in England look forward to preseason in the US? Do they look forward to it? Look forward to the experience of being in the US? Yes. Looking forward to the rigors of preseason? No, because preseason you work harder than the entire season. Preseason is brutal. It's a really really difficult thing. Honestly, preseason when I was playing football as well was the same as well. Coach Fabian Davis, he would have us running. I'm not lying to you. 50 laps. We had 50 laps the first week. Rather, the first day of training was 50 laps. We didn't touch a ball on day one. Day one, we didn't touch a ball and we had 50 laps. That was brutal. He's the only coach that has ever made my feet burn and make me want to take off my boot like my foot is on fire. Preseason is terrible. You feel like you want to throw up. Preseason is hard. Preseason is one of the hardest things you ever do as a human being. Looking forward to the new EPL season, just Mark Gordon. Yeah, it should be good. Yes, Safari. Why would that change? I don't understand the question. I don't understand, Pristine. What is the back wall? I don't understand that point at all. I don't understand that. Back wall? I don't get that. Well, Safari under Ricketts, under Mr. Ricketts, we went to 2 World Cups, and under Captain Burrell, 4 World Cups. In the history of presidents of the Jamaica Football Federation, these are the 2 presidents that we've had that where we went to are actually qualified for tournaments. It was just a random fact and an important point for you to be aware about. If you look at the history of administrators, we've had Ronald Gordon, we've had George Abrahams, we've had Bettina Bavier, we've had Loxley Comrie, we've had Patrick Anderson, we've had Lincoln Happy Sutherland, we've had Hugh Perry, we've had Dr. Winston Dawes, Anthony James, Heron Dale, Captain Horace Burrell, Creston Boxill, Captain Burrell again, and President Ricketts. So that is what the journey has been like. King J says Michael Hamilton. Yes, absolutely. Michael Hamilton, great player. I know my experience was D Cup at Monroe. Those runs over the mountains of Malvern were tough. Okay, Mark's defender, then that is like saying that Sir Alex Ferguson didn't win 13 titles, then that means that Carlos Queiroz, Rene Mullenstein, and Steve McLaren won 13 league titles. So that's essentially what you're saying. I see a lot. Tycoon says he sees a lot of Adidas Jamaican kit in the Olympic in the crowd. Best kit on the brand. You know, Tycoon, in terms of the Adidas gear, it's something that I feel that outside of a sporting venue, I feel that you could put it on and you could rock it anywhere. You're going to the mall, you're going out to dinner, you're going to a fete, you're going to a party, you're going to a get together. I just feel that the Jamaican gear in Adidas is not limited to somebody going to a football match. And that's what makes it so brilliant. Jamar Gordon says, Mr. P, the walking encyclopedia. Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you very much greatly. Again, Mark's defender, it's very important to show respect. It's very, very important to show respect. And if we want to have success, it first starts with positivity. It starts with people working together and for all hands to be on deck. Fans, media, players, coaching staff, administration, corporate Jamaica, PICA, all stakeholders have an important role to play. All of them. Saw the Reggae Boys away shirt at USA Serbia game. It stood out. Yeah. Back wall means not behind a particular time. Again, I don't get what you're saying, but again, you're encouraged to watch the press conference where the General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Mr. Dennis Chung, highlighted today in relation to the situation that the first week of August, all of this should be accomplished. So that you're aware. So that you are aware. Yes. Okay, cool. Dr. Ear says, bless up, Simon, bless up. Yeah, Emil Smith-Rowe is gone to Fulham. Yeah, he's gone to Fulham. He'll certainly get the playing time, that is for sure. He'll get minutes under his belt. He'll be able to, and he's going to be in an environment where the minutes are going to come. So that is good. There we go. Yeah. Owen Hill is a great guy, Safari, a really great guy. I play with him. I played football with him. I've played against him, played with him and against him. We work on projects together, especially locally, and he's a good guy. Jenny's a good guy. I can honestly tell you that. You went to City and AC Milan last Sunday. All teams looked good. Okay, cool. ESR Pristine is Emil Smith-Rowe. ESR is Emil Smith-Rowe. Well, that's the thing, Tycoon, because it's so important to read the FIFA documents and regulations. So let's state the facts, shall we? All right. Let's state the facts so that everybody is aware. And this is it. Emil Smith-Rowe has played 3 matches for England at the senior level. 3 matches, okay? He has played for England in 3 matches at the senior level. 2 in 2021 and 1 in 2022. He's played 2 World Cup qualifiers and 1 friendly. The 2 World Cup qualifiers came against Albania and San Marino. The friendly match came against the Ivory Coast. When Emil Smith-Rowe made his debut for England's senior team, remember, he's born July 28th? Yeah, July 28th. So yesterday was his birthday. So when he made his debut for England, right, he was 21, right? Second game for England, he was 21. When he played his 3rd game for England, how old was he? 21. Let's talk about regulations now, shall we? So, FIFA documents now. Remember, every year you have amendments to the laws of the game. But here's what one document said. Section C, subsection 4. In relation to was fielded in no more than 3 matches at A level. A level is, you all know, international level in any kind of football for his current association, whether in an official competition or non-official competition. No more than 3. Has Emil Smith-Rowe played 3 matches for England? Yes. Has he played more than 3? No. I'll leave it there. Sharad Hall says, blessings, Mr. Preston. Blessings. How you doing, man? No energy 876. The coach has not been picked. No. As Mr. Chung said at the press conference, and again, watch it, first week of August. I told everybody, don't expect anything in July. August, okay? August. Good. Everybody clear? Everybody understand? August. When is August? Not tomorrow. When is August? Not Wednesday. When is August? Thursday. When is Thursday? A public holiday. You get the point? You get the picture? Well, be mindful about that so that you are aware. Okay? Good. You're welcome, Tycoon. You're most welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Well, Nitro, Ian Free has been looking good. He's been looking confident. He's been looking reassured, full of energy, and it is great. So let us all hope and pray that the month of August continues on that note for this young, talented, budding player. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video. All right. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay. So make sure, share this video with your friends, family right now. Okay. Because this is Reggae Boys Commentary. All right. Your horse, your source, your hub for everything Jamaican football related.